everybody? This is Alex Fischbein back again for another Fisch's Friday rant. And today I want to talk about D'Angelo Russell and Larry Nance Jr. I want to talk about Ty Lawson and his suspension. And I also want to talk a little bit about Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook over there in Oklahoma City. So, actually, I want to start things off with the suspension and everything for Ty Lawson. Now, we all know that Ty Lawson was caught for a DUI in the summer, and that wasn't his first DUI. So, he was just now suspended from the league for 3 games, and it comes on kind of like, I don't want to say it comes on us saying, well, like, where was it? But, like, everyone was expecting that kind of thing to happen because you don't just get a second, third, whatever DUI it was for him and not have any discipline out of that. But just combining that with the fact that he has been a very lackluster addition to Houston and has been a pretty big disappointment so far for the team as well as the whole team in general, it only adds to the fact that, like, hey, what is going on in Houston? I know that they've gotten a little bit back on track. Harden looks better, a lot better than he did in the beginning of the season, and he looks like he's finally getting back to his level of play. But this Houston team went from 2nd seed down to firing their coach, and now losing Ty Lawson to this suspension, and it's just really confusing on, like, how this team dropped so drastically out of the picture. But there is still the pieces there that they could potentially gather back up and put together what they had before. But it just really looks like this team just has a different mindset than they used to have. Like, before, it really looked like this team was out to prove something. It looked like they were out to show their doubters and their haters and all that kind of stuff that they were one of the better teams in the West, and they were going to come out and just show everybody, hey, look, we're right there with Golden State and San Antonio and Oklahoma City, and we could potentially get to the NBA Finals. It looked like Harden was playing with more of a chip on his shoulder. It looked like Dwight Howard was playing with a chip on his shoulder. And the whole team was just clicking, and it was looking very nice for them. Not just at that point in time, but in the future as well. And all of a sudden, the dumpster fire of the beginning of the season happens, and now it looks like a lot of people don't even know if they can get to the Western Conference Finals, let alone the Finals. Because now, with teams who look even more improved in Golden State, in San Antonio, in Oklahoma City, now that they're healthy, and different teams like that, it doesn't really look like they're even the top 4 team anymore, let alone top 2 with their 2 seed. So it'll be interesting to see what the Rockets do as the season progresses. But Ty Lawson was looked at as supposed to be one of their significant pieces after adding him, and he has been nowhere near that. It just, honestly, it looked like they had a better chemistry, a better connection when they just let James Harden be the primary ball handler and had Beverly in there for defensive purposes and still as another guy who could hit a 3 here and there, and, you know, having certain guys off the bench like Prigioni. But now it just doesn't look like that's going to happen, and it looks like they might not even get out of the second round. So, if you're asking me for a prediction, personally, I don't think they'll be in the Western Conference Finals. I don't think, honestly, I think they could lose in the first round depending on who they get matched up against. So, that's something that at least I want to monitor as the season goes on. So, real quick, D'Angelo Russell had a great showing last night, and he said, this is only the beginning. Like, this isn't even, like, my ceiling. You guys are in for more of this kind of stuff when I get some playing time, that kind of thing. And I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. I'm also excited to see what their team can bring to the table as soon as they get rid of Scott, because we all know he's holding back a lot of the younger guys. Honestly, he just is a terrible coach. And I think that not only Lakers fans, but NBA fans in general would probably be a little excited if he was just fired already, so that they can finally see young guys like Randall and Russell and Larry Nance Jr. and Clarkson and all those guys thrive some more under a coach who would actually know how to utilize them and use them, instead of saying, oh, they have to learn from the bench, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But that was very nice from Russell, that game, and I'm excited. Even though I'm not even a Lakers fan, I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table as time goes on. Now, I want to talk about Larry Nance Jr. real quick, just because his story that has come out recently, well, that has been at least talked about more recently, really hit home, because so it was said that Larry Nance had an undiagnosed intestinal disease when he was in college and high school and everything, and he didn't know what it was, but it was causing him to be listless. He was just not interested in that many things. He was just kind of in a fog, in a haze, and he wanted to quit sports. He wanted to quit basketball, and he couldn't tell his dad, because we all know his dad was in the NBA, a great player in his own right, and he didn't want to tell him. It comes out that it was Crohn's disease. The doctor diagnosed it. They got on a treatment, and now we see him in the NBA dunking all over people, hitting some mid-range shots. He's just very bouncy. The guy is very, very athletic, one of the more athletic guys in the league right now. And it's such an uplifting story to see, especially from my point of view. If you guys don't know me, I also have Crohn's disease. And when I was diagnosed with it in my freshman year of high school, I quit basketball. I was trying out for the freshman team at this point in time, and when I had Crohn's disease, I couldn't keep up with the running, the conditioning. I could barely even play like a half of a game, let alone a full game. Like him, there were times where I was listless, in a fog, in a haze, and I just didn't really feel like doing anything. And so when I hear this about him, getting his treatment and being able to get back to the sport that he loves and get all the way to the NBA, it's really an inspiring and uplifting thing. Me personally, I still do play basketball now that I had it diagnosed, and now that I have treatment, I play basketball like pickup and everything, but I also got to continue the sport that I've been playing since I was a kid, which is volleyball, and I've gotten to play that at a very high level as well. Not professionally, obviously, but it's just nice to know that there are professional athletes out there, dealing with the same kind of thing that I would deal with, or that any other everyday person would deal with. There's guys out there. I know David Garrard, the ex-quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, used to have, or has, Crohn's, and he still played in the NFL with it. So it's really nice that these guys come out and, they say, hey, this is what's happening with me. This is how I dealt with it and how I'm dealing with it now. It's just a very inspiring thing for all the people dealing with that disease. And it's very critical because it raises awareness for that disease and things that in that category, like ulcerative colitis, these immuno-bowel diseases. It's the value of him coming out and sharing his story is honestly indescribable. It's great. And honestly, with me, it gave me a whole newfound respect for Larry Nance, just because I share what he's going through. I know what I know what it feels like. And I just want to say to Larry Nance, thank you. Thank you a lot for sharing your story. And to finish things off, I just want to talk about the Durant-Westbrook combo real quick. They are, like, firing on all cylinders. I mean, these guys they've looked better this season together than I remember them looking together in past seasons. Now, obviously, I know they still looked good when they went to the finals, but there was other factors in there, like having James Harden as a sixth man. But these two together now just look like they are playing in great harmony, and that's what everyone has wanted to see. They've wanted to see these two guys figure it out and be able to put things together to make their to uplift each other and make each other better as well as the team around them. And that's what's going on. I mean, right now, Durant and Westbrook are pretty much the most efficient duo in the shot clock era. That's huge. Because these two guys are like superstar level duo, whereas there might be duos, that are like a pick and roll duo who can be very efficient because they run the pick and roll very well and they get very high percentage shots. But these are two guys that can score from anywhere on the floor with high amounts of athleticism, with high amounts of intensity, and it's just exciting to watch night in and night out. And the whole thing with Durant, the whole drama surrounding him with all of free agency and all of that, it's really nice to see him still connecting with his team, and really nice to see him not letting that, disrupt his goals in mind, the goals of getting back to the finals, the goals of getting better with his teammates, the goals of winning the finals. And it's refreshing to see these guys firing on all cylinders like this. Now, obviously, it's going to be a different story if they kind of like peak at the wrong time. But if they can figure it out now, they should be able to figure out how to get back to that. So it'll be really interesting. I mean, really interesting if they could get this kind of play still going in the playoffs, because then you put these two guys against teams like Golden State, against San Antonio, and that will make for some great, great TV. I mean, that'll be an epic 7-game series either way. But that's it for me. That's all I wanted to get off of my chest this week. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Fisch's Friday Rant. Definitely check out my other podcast, The Atlantic Files, which is posted usually either a day or two before this one, Thursday or Wednesday, sometimes either one. And we have a renewal of the Two Guard Front podcast tomorrow and Saturday from Martin and C. Definitely check that out. Those two know, some of the most about basketball out of anybody I've ever met. Two of the founders of Basketball Society. Definitely check them out. Check out our website, www.basketball-society.com, and make sure you check us out on Twitter at @bballsociety_. You can find this on YouTube at The Basketball Society and on iTunes, The Basketball Society. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll check you guys next week. Peace.